It's 7-segment show. We're doing the 7 stages of grief in order. Number 2, denial. Number 2 is denial.
I'm between 1 and 3 still.
Gerald Doherty can't believe he won't take ownership of the blue tent comment. I saw the video. He said what he said.
Oh, God.
Dude.
And Donald Trump said very fine people, right?
Yeah.
Knock it off. That wasn't the context at all. Watch the full video.
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste my time like sending you the full video. I sat next to him. I know exactly what he said. Knock it off, man. Congratulations. Now stop being a bitch. You're going to play for the NFC Championship.
Doesn't matter what you say. It's what they hear.
40.
I can tell it to you. I can't explain it to you.
Oh, all right. Take care, fella. Yeah, take care,
I appreciate the hug.
40 Gumble. Neil, just wanted to give a shout-out to all the Commanders fans who are giving your show clicks and engagement. Great to see you under their skin. LOL. I mean, I don't know. I'm just sitting here talking, man. I'm like you guys. The denial. All right? Stage 2, second segment of the show. Denial. And, Sean, when the denial hit me was when we walked out. And shout out Gillies, by the way. The watch party was incredible. Stick told me it was record-breaking for the station. And we knew it would be, right? We absolutely knew it would be. People at Gillies were awesome. Get that spot. You can go to second best and you can go to Gillies. And make that your pregame routine. Denial. When I walked out of Gillies, which is just literally 2 blocks from Ford Field, and that vibe and just a mass of humanity walking out there, there was a whole lot of denial going on, Sean. I mean, this morning you waver through the stages. I don't think it's like a concrete staircase.
No, they tell you that in therapy.
Yeah, but I'm
These
still fucked up.
No, you don't go through
I'm
these
over
in
here
order.
like it just happened.
You're at depression. Next thing you know, you're back in shock, Neil.
Right.
Denial. I can't believe this is over.
This is where I said we all knew, but we didn't want to know. And only you guys can answer that question, and even the guys that I work with. We did a nickel package, and I don't want one person out there to think this is some kind of victory lap, okay, because it's not. But we did a nickel package right before Christmas, and I forget exactly what the question was, but it was something along the lines, can the Lions win a Super Bowl with this defense? And I said no, and I said no. And it was funny because KG, one of the nicest guys on earth,
Thank you.
fired me this look that if he had 2 laser-guided missiles in his eyes, I'm done. He's Mega Godzilla or something. He's firing missiles at me. And you guys, we're smarter than that. We knew. And I think we've been in denial longer than any of us want to admit. I really truly believe that. Was it enough Was it enough to hold off Coochie Coo? Shout out Viking fans.
Well, yeah. They don't count.
Was it enough to hold off the Vikings? Yes. Was it enough to put us in a position to perhaps get that number 1 seed where I like our chances better if we're at Ford Field with that home field advantage? Yes. But deep down inside, you cannot have those injuries and just absorb them, especially those injuries and who they happen to, okay? When you go to a Super Bowl and you're playing the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs, or hell, you are playing an incredible weapon like Jaden Daniels, okay? You better be close to your best. We weren't close to our best. That is not an excuse. It is a fact. Props to Washington before any of you bitches who hear what you want to hear what you want to hear. You beat us, period, end of story.
Right out.
But I think the denial was part of our fan base for the past couple months. I really do. I believe it.
I would agree with that. I mean, the runaway defensive player of the year, right, goes down. And show goes on, and they keep winning. And they keep winning, Sean. Shaking your head, denial.
I can't even. All of it isn't real. It's not real.
It's not real. Jason Kenyon in the super chat. I'll be happy to see Aleem, DJ, Anzo Campbell, Malcolm, Hutch, and Big Z in the front and middle, plus all the secondary next
season.
season.
Listen to what he just said. Can you repeat that?
Aleem McNeil.
Starting defense.
DJ Reader, Alex Anzalone, Campbell, Rodriguez, Hutch, and Zadarius Smith. By the way, we have never had Hutch and Zadarius Smith play a game together yet. Zadarius Smith is here for $11 million next year.
Yep. Looking forward to that.
It's okay. It's denial, Sean. It's denial.
I think Wedding Crashers is on again.
Chase it with a little Shawshank. Remember, hope is not a bad thing. It's maybe the best of things.
I feel like Andy Dufresne right now, crawling out of that damn sewer.
Boggs just got me in the shower.
Oh, come on.
I don't feel good right now. He wanted to be my friend. I didn't want him as my friend, but he ended up being my friend anyway.
Jaden Daniels as Boggs.
Right.
But we just don't have the severance package that Andy
No,
Dufresne had.
not at
How
all.
often do you pay attention to a man's shoes?
Never once in my life.
Man.
Like, never once have I, looked down at somebody's shoes. Never.
Yeah.
That's why it worked.
Doesn't happen.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't happen.
Jay Cuervo in the Woodward Sports Super Chat. Neil, can we talk about how these injuries are all on defense, how Glenn is asking them to play, all these friendly fire injuries like Amik? Amik, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh, that was absolutely tough as well. Boy, Dante with the big Super Chat here. Yeah, Sean, I'm sad, but at least I'm not a Dallas Cowboys or a Giants fan because they're in hell with that Commanders-Eagles matchup. And F all you says that same old SOL stuff. And I think Daniil was Hutch going down against the Cowboys. Or Denial, I'm sorry. I think Denial was Hutch going down against the Cowboys. And Dante, you absolutely diagnosed that perfectly right here. That was me. Because I just thought the show goes on. And Brad will go make a trade, and everything will get fixed, and that'll be it.
I'm not going to lie to you. When we had that segment, Neil, you know what? This is just my perspective. You can tell me if I was wrong. And I took a lot of shit from it when I said no. But I remember looking at you, and we kind of caught eyes. And honestly, I could almost see it in your eyes. You were going, oh, shit. Like, honestly, because it's so easy to get caught up in this. And that's why I say we all knew. We didn't want to know, but I think we all knew. I think we all knew that it was going to be a problem somewhere along the line, that you were going to have to take on a dynamic player like a Jaden Daniels or a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson.
It's the NFL playoffs.
And they were going to expose us.
Yeah, and that was my thing with it all, too, was with the people talking about playoff matchups and stuff like that. You get to a game away from the conference. You're playing a good player in this league.
Right.
That's just the way that it works because the good teams are the ones that left, and good teams are usually comprised of good players.
Sam Bradford didn't scare me. Oh, did I do it again?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold didn't
Bradford.
scare me, but pretty much anything other than that, yeah, we were all. Gosh damn it.
It's Jack Stark. I've been full anger since the empty set call on 3rd and 1, and
Trying
that's
to tell you.
yeah.
That was my moment. I told you guys, KG, you weren't here. That was my moment.
Yeah.
That was for me where I was like, oh, shit. Because we handed over the script that has been so successful, and Washington used it against us. From that point on, they really did.
Yeah, they did.
Zach in the Super Chat, Commanders fan. It's okay to say it was wrong. We want to hear from the guy who said it. If a Washington talking head said take a penalty to send Goff to the tent, you'd have signs in the stadium saying to take him out. And Zach, again, you can hear what you want to hear. We know what was said, my friend. Okay? We know what was said. And yes, did I say if you want to remind him of who you are, then it takes a penalty to do it? We've seen Brian Branch do that before, right?
Yep.
We've seen it happen before. It's part of it. And if
I
he's
just
got to go
don't
down,
think
it's just
you
that
knew
way.
that Washington was so soft.
No, no way.
Like, if a comment like that triggers
but-
an entire fan base, how soft is that fan base?
And Stick, like when you think about it too, they've spent a long time being irrelevant too.
19 years before a playoff win last week.
Right.
19 years.
19 years.
Their kids were graduating high school without playoff wins.
Boys to Men had just started the last time they were a relevant franchise.
Yep.
Never forget that, by the way. So they're new. There's some new money angles to the Commanders fans also.
Well, everything they do is new because they still try to hang on to the Redskins. You ain't the Redskins. That's like the Browns taking credit for what the Ravens did after they switched names and left town. You ain't the Redskins. You're the The Commanders have won 2 playoff games in their entire organizational history.
That might be the greatest one-hit wonder Super Bowl champion of all time, too. Like, seriously, I was talking with some of the old folks at my senior citizens center, and no, honestly, when you think of it, like, that was the greatest one-hit wonder, said the goal was to win the Super Bowl. And they didn't win the Super Bowl. They didn't get to the Super Bowl.
Dan Campbell just said that.
And to me, Neil, to me, I can't say, golly gee, what a good season. I know we're going to get to it, but that's part of my anger
I'll
right
never
now.
get to that.
That's part of my anger right now. I'm not going to go, golly, gee, that's Jim Caldwell shit.
100%.
Look at this. It's Jim Caldwell shit. I don't want any part of that.
MS Skaggs in the super chat. Weren't you guys getting bent out of shape because Washington fans were doing the "We Want Detroit" chant? That's a 50-year-old chant. But Washington fans are soft. But MS, like, you didn't get to do that chant in the last 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So also, Jason Kenyon back in the super chat as well. Here's anger and bargaining in on. Let's trade for Crosby, grab Khalil Mack in free agency through our salary cap, away from more depth and offensive line and defensive line. Let's spend all that cap, LOL. Steve Lehman, Jack Sawyer loading. Oh, yeah, there's a national championship. Has there ever been less buzz about a national championship game?
Yeah,
it's
bad.
really weird. It's really weird, and I can't wait.
Your boy better win tonight, too. That's all I'm saying.
Do you know what I did yesterday, though? It's funny that guys are bringing that up. I did do a whole bunch of the draft simulators. I did.
Later
Did
on.
you?
Mock draft season is here.
Did
For
you?
the first time. Well, I wasn't watching football.
We're gonna
Yeah,
do
yeah.
one tomorrow.
By the way,
Oh, God.
can I just
I'm
say
not.
this? Can I just say there are a lot of edges in that area. Somebody brought up Sawyer. I think there are a couple different options. One from A&M and one from Marshall. They're going to be in that area with the Lions. I want a nasty bitch edge. I do.
don't want to hear that shit right now. Respectfully.
I'm Mig says, I'm just saying y'all acting real slick like you going to the Super Bowl. Go beat Philly first, then talk some ish about history. And there's now Commander, and a lot of hail to the Commanders. A lot of hail to the
I don't
Commanders.
remember that song.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird to hear another team use that
I
moniker
don't-
like
yeah.
hail?
Yeah, it's hail to the Redskins.
I know,
I don't
but they're not the
remember-
Redskins.
I don't remember that song.
That was two team names ago.
That was, as a matter of fact.
I liked
remember the
Washington football
logo?
team.
WFT.
I like that shit.
What
Was
the
clean. It was clean.
Burn in the chat says, anger, Ben's play calling. Yes, he's good, but he made some dumbass calls I noticed in the last year in the Raiders game. Don't be cute, run the ball, and that's fair.
Absolutely.
We had talked. We
There
had
was a
talked
little
about that.
smartest man in the room stuff going on. That was a little
Showing
vibe.
out for Brady a little bit.
Little vibe.
Here's one from Zach. I don't know who he's talking about, though. What's soft is a producer who couldn't admit his precious Goff had a bad game on the live stream. Soft is the Lions losing to Washington for the 4th time in the playoffs.
I think he's talking about Stick.
Yeah, he may be talking about me. I don't know. If you listen to the argument wasn't. It was what I talked about earlier. The 4th down was the biggest play of that game. 4th and 2 when you have 12 men on the field. That was the biggest play of the game.
So, I mean, man, Super Chat's coming in. Heinz86 Art with the yellow Super Chat. As a Commanders fan, I only hoped our defense could do just enough to get us through the win. I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised the Lions got away from the run a little bit. It was a good game.
I love hearing from people like you. Respect.
Intelligent fans?
Like respect.
Yeah.
Like serious respect, because you weren't the only one. If I were a Washington fan, I would have been going like this, because you guys had a better look at your porous run defense than we did all year. But I
Try
wish,
that again next week. See what happens.
I wish you guys the best. We know what it's like to be through a bunch of shit. You can't compare our shit to your shit, but that doesn't make your shit any more tolerable. Seriously, best of luck to you guys.
And I just want to relive Dante's big Super Chat as well. At least I'm not a Cowboys fan or a Giants fan.
That is a fact.
So that one's out there as well. I'm
Dealing
always
with that
going to go back
twice
to
a
that.
year. Oi,
Right?
no thanks.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
those were the ones. Our Aaron White in the orange Super Chat. How are we soft when y'all were begging for a flag on the Louvu hit? Your fan base was a mirror of your team, cocky without proving anything. I mean, let's stop right there with that. You want some anger? Here's some anger. They were 15-2 with 23 dudes on IR. They were 15-2 with 23. And then, look, I know our division gets overrated because of the Packers and the Vikings. I understand that. I come to grips with it because it's very easy to beat them because we beat them all the time. I understand that. And you saw the Vikings in the playoffs. You saw the Packers in the playoffs. You know, so I'll wear that. And, again, it gets infinitely harder next year. But, Aaron, bro, they were 15-2, man. You guys were double-digit underdogs.
Aaron, I'm gonna try to talk some logic to you, my friend. If you want to say that we haven't won a Super Bowl yet or anything, yeah, you're right. You're right. How do you take away from what they've done the last 2 years? Like, come on, man. Come on. Seriously. That's like if Philly knocks you off next week, that's like saying, Commanders didn't do anything, man. They didn't do anything. Why do you people talk? You made it to the NFC Championship. You knocked off Detroit in their own house. Like, shut the fuck up with dumb shit like that, man.
Yeah, so, again, jump into that chat. Teflon Don in the Super Chat. Coming in very, very light, by the way. Forever losers.
Neil, you're doing this all wrong. That $1.99, that's not enough money to read bad stuff. Like, no. If you want an insult that will be read on air by Neil or myself or KG or Sean, it's at least $20.
Step your game up.
Yeah, come on. Don't be a broke-ass Washington.
Don't be.
Forever losers?
Wow, we missed the break. We missed the break again.
Dagger.
We're doing the 7 stages of grief. We do one every segment. We're up to number 4.
Are we?
Up next, bargaining.
Bargaining.
I've made too many bargains in my life. I have no more bargains to bargain with.
All right.
This is kind of fun, isn't it? I mean,
I guess
it's kind of fun a little bit.
Man. Y'all can have this shit today.
Jason Kenyon, real quick before we cut to the break, take away the fumble and the INTs. Goff and Daniel stats were very close.
What?
Can't really say JD5 was much better, just had less mistakes. Gibbs was running late. And Chad216, yellow super chat. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't